Good morning and welcome everyone to this AutoCAD Toolsets and moving from AutoCAD to AutoCAD Electrical webinar. So my name is Aldred Boyd. I'll be helping you out, or I'll be presenting today for the next half an hour to 45 minutes, just explaining, sort of how we are going to, be able to utilize AutoCAD Electrical if you're moving from AutoCAD. I'm an application engineer for Micrographics, and if you do have any questions that you'd like to email me through, aldred@mgfx.co.za. Okay, so just a little bit about myself. I'm an industry specialist for the Autodesk manufacturing products. So that includes things like, AutoCAD, AutoCAD Electrical, AutoCAD Mechanical, as well as Inventor. So Inventor would be my sort of flagship product that I'm working on. As well as the Vault set of products, which is the data management system that Autodesk, Autodesk has for their CAD software. I have got around about 20 years of experience now, so I've been in the game for a little bit, so I know what I'm talking about, and hopefully I can give you guys some, some knowledge or some insight into, into the product AutoCAD Electrical today. I'm both AutoCAD and Inventor certified professionals. So those are when you go and write those exams. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It is a paid for timed exam. So if you do that, you're then able to then go and put the AutoCAD Inventor certified logo onto business cards and emails that you do send out to your clients. I'm also an Autodesk certified instructor. So if you ever do come through to one of our classes or on our online classes, myself, as well as all my colleagues in Durban, Joburg, and P, we are all certified to give you the correct instruction in Autodesk software. I've also presented at the Autodesk University Extensions, both in Joburg and Cape Town as well. And if you've never been to one of those, I would definitely say, go through, have a look at it. I don't, obviously with COVID at the moment, we're not really having on-site, universities there. But, if you ever take a look on the internet, just go to Autodesk University, the one that's run worldwide. It is fascinating. There's a lot of industry specialists out there, and there are lots of advanced sort of topics that you can get into. So it's a great place to go and learn and find great talks and great webinars and tutorials to go work on. Okay, so the agenda for today. So we're going to just take a look at the difference between drawing schematics in AutoCAD versus AutoCAD Electrical. Okay, so you've obviously, you might not have used AutoCAD Electrical, but you'll know that you've got AutoCAD Electrical now, because AutoCAD, when you buy a full seat of AutoCAD, you will get the AutoCAD Electrical toolset as well. So you might not have used it, but hopefully by the end of today, you'll see the benefits of moving from just normal AutoCAD to AutoCAD Electrical. Just looking at the basic concepts of starting an AutoCAD Electrical project, what's the difference between, once again, AutoCAD versus AutoCAD Electrical? AutoCAD Electrical schematics and panel drawings. How would we use them within normal AutoCAD, and then once again in AutoCAD Electrical? Title blocks, this is quite important because the title blocks on a drawing, convey a certain amount of information to the person reading the drawing. Things like descriptions or location. Things like that, where you need to know, what is this drawing about? The information that I've got in this drawing is pertinent to where I'm actually standing. So maybe you look at the drawing, don't understand why this is going here. Look at your title block, and you can see the information of why it's going there. Then reports. Now, reports is quite nice because those give you a lot of information about the project and maybe sort of metadata that sits within your components in your electrical drawing. Even your AutoCAD drawing, you can use it with blocks. And those reports do things like bill of materials, connecting to panel drawings, things like that. So take a look at reports. Obviously, then it's just a conclusion on, just kind of summarizing everything we've gone through. And then if you have any questions, we'll have a short little Q&A at the end. Okay, so AutoCAD versus AutoCAD Electrical. How would we draw something in AutoCAD? So with the AutoCAD, it's basically lines, arcs, and circles. So, you draw a line, draw some arcs, a circle, maybe trim off some stuff. And then you've got all your wires that, your one line wires that run all over the sheet. Then what you do is you go and you manually place your block. So you take a block, you drag it in, place it on where you want the line. Just remember you cut off so that that line at the background doesn't run through your symbol. Then you might, for the blocks, have two different blocks, one for normally open, normally closed, unless you're using dynamic blocks. But you do something like that's the kind of old school way of doing things. Then you obviously in your blocks you would have put attributes. If you aren't using attributes and you are still in AutoCAD, then you just please note that that's kind of what you do to be able to get into that information into your blocks over there. So things like tag numbers, pin numbers, your definitions, catalog dots. That's all sort of information that you'd want moving along with your block when you do put that in. Then you've got most of what I've seen is that when you do schematic drawings in AutoCAD, all your schematic drawings reside on one DWG in model space. So you'll have there 16, 20, 25, and then you just jump to whichever drawing you are looking at, because that's everything's sitting on that one page. And you might have an A3 template, and obviously you run out of space, and then you'd have to go into the next drawing, the next drawing, the next drawing. What you can't do in AutoCAD is you cannot create references between different blocks like parent-child, so contact and relay, and then also manual BOM reporting. So if you have to ever do a bill of materials, you know what it is, create a table, and then you start manually put your tag number at the top, maybe catalog number, pin numbers, description, and then what you do, you go and type it in manually. And that's either in AutoCAD or even in Excel. So, everything's very manual. Yes, you do get your drawing out at the end of the day, but, there must be quicker ways. Out comes AutoCAD Electrical. So with AutoCAD Electrical, the line in inverted commas that you draw is actually a wire. So it acts as a wire. So it'll have a gauge, it'll have a color, it'll have sort of area to it. So, and that is all created in the wire layer that you have as well. Then you've got automatic symbol placement and cutting of wires. So when you put a symbol in, maybe a push button or contact or a relay, it'll automatically cut that wire, because it knows that when you're putting a symbol, components into a wire, obviously the wire comes in one end and goes out the other, and there's nothing in between. So it knows about that. Easy input for tag information. So instead of having to select your block, right click, edit attributes, finding the one that you want and going changing it, it's got a very quick and easy edit component dialog box, which you'll see a little bit later. Project-based drawing. So now what happens is, because we've got relations between certain drawings as well as components on different drawings as well, everything is controlled with a project, and that project sits on a database. So what we can do is you'll have a project, and we'll see how we actually create that project over there and what you can control with that project that we've got going over there. Then automatic reference creation between parent and children schematics. So once again, the contact relay. How do we know what contacts are linked to what relays? And AutoCAD Electrical, because it's on a project-based database, it will sort of control all of that. And if you go to your relay, you'll be able to see, okay, right, I've got 4 or 5 contacts linked to that. It's sitting on this page in this grid A1, E10, or whatever it is, as well as is that children or that contact, is it normally open, normally closed? So we'll tell you exactly what that is. And then you've got an automated BOM reporting feature, which you're then just able to go through and say, listen, right, I want a bill of materials on maybe 3 drawings, or I want a bill of materials for this certain section, which you might have specified or filtered through a locational installation. And it'll give you all of those components there, how many push buttons you've got, how many contacts, how many relays, or, with the automatic reporting, you can have a from to your wire connection. So it'll tell you the wire goes from this component to this component. So yes, so you've got that, which is, if you were doing it in normal AutoCAD, is very manual and very time consuming. Okay, so AutoCAD electrical projects. So how, what is this about? Okay, so basically it's kind of like a self-contained database. And that database resides in the folder where all the different folders are in for your AutoCAD electrical. And when you create your electrical project, these are the different dialog boxes that pop up, where you can actually go and change certain things. So on the left-hand side, you can see the project settings, and you'll see that I've got schematic libraries, schematic icon menu files, panel footprint libraries, panel icon menu files. So this tells us where to go find those components, your schematic and your panels footprints, and you can go and it's created, it resides in a database, so you're able then to go either change it. So obviously, if you change a database entry, it'll change everything in your project as well. So you've got that functionality over there. At the bottom underneath, you've got real-time error checking as well. So one thing it does do in that is it goes and looks for tags. So if you try and put in, say, a push button and the tag number is 1, 2, 3, and you try and put in the second push button, the tag, and he says 1, 2, 3 as well, it will just go and error check and say, listen, but this tag already exists. Then you've got, on the right-hand side, you've got your components. So what can we control over here? So the tag format. How would you like your tag format to be? So family name and then a number. So that's a %F, %N. You can also search a PLC IO address on inserts. So we can create PLCs as well. And then you can just, how you'd like the tag to look. So there's a lot of different tagging procedures that we might go through, or the ways that we tag our components. So this is where you control it to your AutoCAD Electrical project. Okay, it also controls wire numbering. So this is actually fantastic because this will automatically, wire so give numbers to all your wires from the first drawing all the way to the last drawing. Okay, so you can go and also say where would you like it, above the wire, in line, below wire. And that's great because, when you're numbering projects, and say you've got 20 drawings, that's a lot of drawings, a lot of wires on these. So you've got to go through every single drawing and make sure that the wire number is correct. And what AutoCAD Electrical does, it'll actually take a look at the drawings. And if you start putting in more components and obviously breaking up your wires now, so it becomes new wires, you can just say, listen, go back to the beginning, rewire it, bang, I've got all my wire numbers there again. Cross-referencing components as well, so the naming format. So there you can see then same drawings as the number, between drawings will be the sheet name and then, or the sheet number, and then the number as well. Okay, so you can control that through the project over here. And just if you do need say for instance, one of the drawings in the project must not have these project properties, you can also go and change the individual drawing properties as well. So, just over these two slides over here, just in the project settings, there's a lot of, variations that you can use, or, you can manipulate it quite a lot, just like as in AutoCAD, but still keeping a very standardized way of working. Okay, arrow and wire styles. So, once again, it's got a lot of different arrow styles. It's all created from block content. So if you've got one that's not in here, you can go and add additional wire styles as well. PLC styles and fan in, fan out marker styles as well. So you can just go there. There's 9 over there. I think the 7, 8, and 9 is actually custom ones that you can do as well. And then at the bottom there, you've got different wiring styles. So this is actually quite nice because now in normal AutoCAD, what you do is if you have 2 lines crossing each other and you maybe have that loop that goes across, you'd actually draw 2 lines that go across. You'll see them crossing. Then you'd actually draw a circle and you trim off what you don't need, and then you'll get that little loop that goes across. Whereas in AutoCAD Electrical, it understands that 2 wires need to cross because we're working with wires, automatically put that loop across there. Okay, and as well as when 2 wires come 90 degrees into each other, what do we do? So we, how do we do it? Wire T, or a little dot as well. So we got some variety there as well. On the drawing over here on the right, you got your drawing format. So this is where you create ladders. So you can create 2 buses, a whole lot of ladders inside. And how would you like the default ladder to be created? Horizontal, vertical, what's the spacing in between it, the width. Okay, so, kind of setting up everything so that, the template format that you've got, you can just start working. You don't have to go and set up all the stuff. But once again, in AutoCAD, normal AutoCAD, this is all very, very manual. Because as you can see in your ladder defaults, all the rungs that come across, when they join the 2 buses, then it'll automatically put that little dot in there for you, because if that's the the T that you want, or how you want the 2 wires to join. Then you've got your format referencing. So how would you like it? X zones or XY grids? XY grid would be like A1, A2, A3, A1, A, B, 4, whatever. And X zones would just be your columns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the top over there. Okay, so you can see there, by creating this project, there's a lot of automation that's going into it before you even start drawing. And as I said, you can also then go and override that project properties with a drawing properties of an individual drawing if you just need something to be a little bit out of sync. Okay, so that's the project aside. What about the electrical schematic? So how would we go about doing that? So first of all, we create wires and wire types. We'll actually create wire types before. And if you want to think about it, wire types is actually just your layers. So you would have a specific name for it, and it's very descriptive. So layer name, let's take a look at the first one. It's black. It's a black wire, and it's 0.5 square millimeters, the area of, of the cut through. And would you like that wire to be numbered? Yes or no? Now, at the bottom there, you can see layer name format. So it's just basically my color and my size as well. So you can have user 1, user 2. So if you had additional information that you wanted, so that when you selected the wire, there's more information to that, you can do that as well. A nice thing about this create edit wire type dialog box also got, is it used? So are you actually using this inside your project at the moment? If, for instance, you've got, a layer that's sitting in another electrical component or a project and you want to import that in, you can then go add existing layers. And just like in normal layers, you can control the line weight, the line type, as well as the color. On the right-hand picture over here, you can see there how to create wires. So there's a wire, there's an automatic 22.5 degree wire, a 45 degree wire. So it shoots off at that 22.5, 45, 67.5 degrees. Create a gap over there if you want to as well. Got multiple bus and wire numbers. So it's all kind of there on your tool panel at the top, just like in normal AutoCAD. So it should be fairly easy to be able to go find all this information. Other types of wires that you can create: ladders and multiple wire bus. So the ladder on the left, as you can see there, it's actually taking the default of what we created in our project setup. And then obviously you can go and manipulate this or change it as you see fit. One thing that you have got over here is you draw rungs, yes, draw all of them. And you can also skip every first, second, third, whichever one you want. On the right-hand side there, you can see we've got a multiple wire bus, start from another bus, start from the components, empty space, go horizontal or vertical. And then the spacing, if you go vertical or horizontal over there. Okay, so after you've put in the wires, then what we want to do is start putting your components. And AutoCAD Electrical has got a very, very big library of schematic symbols. You can see there push buttons, selector switches, breakers, disconnects, fuses, transformers, relays, contacts, timers, miscellaneous. And if you click on each one, you'll go to a different drop-down, and there'll be more schematic symbols over there. Now, at the moment, you can see I've got IC. They do have JIC, IEEE. So when you install the software, you just select which one you want to use, and to get this in, double click on it. It'll then go put it into the into your drawing. Automatically cut the wire, as I said. You put it onto a wire, and then you'll be able to then go and edit the component details that you've got on there as well. So just on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, you got recently used as well. Shows the last 10 you have. So you don't have to go and dig into menus, all the way down into menus to go find one that you've recently used. I used that push button yesterday. It should probably be my recently used. Double click on it, drag it into the drawing. Okay, so then when you've done it, an edit component dialog box pops up, and you are then able to go fill in this information over here. So starting from the top left, you've got installation location. So it just makes it easier for you to go filter out certain components with a certain installation or location that you've put in there. And if you had to click on that drawing or project button, it would then go and pick up existing installation or location codes from either the project or all the drawings in your project. Then obviously, then it'll go put in a component tag, so it does that over there. And then what you can do, or you can say, I need, to get a component tag from an external list, for instance. So maybe this project has got a certain amount of component tags that you will just use. You can't use anything else. Then you've got your description. You can get up to 3 lines. And you can also set up a text file where you've got default descriptions for certain components. So you can just use that to automatically populate that instead of having to, do it, create it every single time or write it out. And engineers love and they know how to spell. So let's take that away from them. Okay, then you also got your cross-referencing information at the bottom, right over there, and then also catalog data, which is quite nice because, if you're bringing in, schematics from industry, you don't want to have to go fill out this catalog data. I mean, if you take a look at the right-hand side of here, the push buttons, catalog name H100H -BR6A, manufacturer, description, type, it's all filled out already. And it even tells you there, how many contacts are you allowed to have on this push button? One normally open, one normally closed. Or, the fourth one over there, the 800H BR6C, is 4 normally open and 4 normally closed. And the way that AutoCAD Electrical works with that one is as well, if you then go put in too many, so maybe I've got 5 normally open contacts, it'll give you an error and say, sorry, but you actually can't do this. But you look on the left-hand side, you'll see the reference number. When I say reference, normally open, normally closed, it'll tell you what, what you've actually got involved in there. Okay, so moving on to that. So now if you've got parent and child relationships, on the left-hand side there's the child component edit box. So it's a little bit different to the parent one. So there's a lot less information you can put into because it gets a lot of information from your parents. So that's where that happens over there. And then it also tells you the cross-reference. Then on the right-hand side, you've got the surf tool, which is quite nice because that parent and child component might not be sitting on the same page. So for instance, by using the surf tool, it'll tell you where that parent or where the children sit. So you can see there, the one at the top there, P for parent, is sitting on sheet 10, reference 5. So it's got column references. And then it's got 3 normally open contacts over there as well. So there you'll see exactly what's there. And then you can even go and you can actually jump to that. So if you double click on it, it'll open up the drawing. So you can it'll open up the drawing for you. And then you'll be able to go, you don't have to go and if you've got 40 pages in your project, you don't have to go scroll through 40 pages and I have to go to page 6 or page 39. It will automatically jump to that page, open up for you, and zoom to where that component sits inside that drawing. So it really does make it very, very easy and user-friendly for you. Okay, then on the panel side, so that's the basic gist of how you would go about doing a schematic drawing. And then on the panel side, you kind of work with the schematics as well. So, we spoke about location codes and, putting those in. So if you wanted to, you could just extract the information that you wanted of the schematics through a location code to be able to place the panel component. And on the left-hand side there, you can see you can either create that list from project or active drawing. So once that's done, in the middle of the drawing, you can see which drawings you want. You can say process all, or maybe process a couple of drawings. And on the right-hand side, what you get is all the schematic components you have in your active project. And when you want, and then you can place that. And what it'll do, it'll say, okay, right, look at the database. This is my schematic. Is there a panel drawing for it? Yes, there is. And then it'll grab that panel drawing and place it in your panel. Okay, and it'll then link the two. So if you say, for instance, change a description on the one, it'll change on the other. You change the tag number on the one, it'll change on the other. So there you've got that nice link between your schematics and your panel drawings, and it can work both ways. So if you don't have to go and create your schematic first, you can go create your panel first and then work the other way and grab the schematic component from your panel component. Okay, so how does it look? There we go. So on the left-hand side over there, you can see there I've got some push buttons, some relay control push buttons over there. So puts it there, you can see a little blue text. That's my tag numbers. And if I change that, it'll change the tag number on my schematic. And on the right-hand side, you can just see a parts list. Okay, so kind of like, it's a bomb, and it's gone and taken a look at all the components I've got. And it gives me the tag, the manufacturer, the catalog description. Just with this, you have to fill in catalog data to be able to get this bill of materials. So that is something over there. But I mean, how easy is this? And you can then just right click on that and export it to Excel, or actually export it to Excel from the word go. So I mean, that's quite great. And how much time do you spend on these bill of materials. It's probably one of the things that people do sort of look over, is that, the drawing, people think of us like, oh, we do the drawings, it's so quick and easy, but it's all the detailing work afterwards that really takes a long time. And I know the one thing in any design that you have, bill of materials is very, very important, and it probably takes the longest time for us to do it. So if there's some way to automate that, here it is over here. Okay, if you work with terminals as well, you can create a terminal footprint, and there's different ways to show that terminal footprint as well. So on the left-hand side of here, there's like a tabular format. So, the cable name, where it's coming in, your cable wire conductor, the wire number, and the terminal strip that it's actually sitting on. Are there any jumpers? So what's the terminal pin numbers? Things like that. So you've got that over there. So if you do a whole lot of contacts with terminal strips, then there's a very, very quick and easy way for you to do it in AutoCAD Electrical over here. On the right-hand side, you can also get a visual view of it. So here you can see there's a couple of different ways, and I've actually put it onto a DIN rail as well. So you can get a nice look and feel of exactly what the design is going to look like, so that the guy at the end of the day looks at it and goes, I recognize this, I know what this is, and I know how to wire it up. Okay, so another thing that can be quite tedious and time-consuming is your title blocks, as I said a little bit earlier as well. And what it does is it allows us to sort of link the project description and where we fill the information into attributes that we've created on our title block. So, for instance, over here, you can see their customer name, drawing number, job model number, job serial number, job year. And on the right-hand side there, we can see an update title block. And then you can see again, customer name, drawing number, model number, serial number, job year. So that's over there. We can say, listen, we've now changed the customer, the job model number, and maybe the supplier voltage. So what we do is we go and have a tick, tick supplier voltage, tick job model number, and tick customer, because maybe they changed the name from, A and they got taken over by B, but all the documentation has to get updated. Now, to update that on every single drawing, if you've got 40 drawings or 60 drawings or 100 drawings, you'd have to go to each one, double-click on the title block, edit attributes, come on, change the name, close it, save, go to the next one. And with this over here, you can just do a project-wide update by changing your project description, then ticking this update, whichever one you want to update the title block, and run it project-wide, and it goes and changes everything. Okay, so this is a great way to go and change a lot of the information that you've got sitting in your project very quickly throughout the entirety of it. Okay, then you got reports, and we did speak about this as well. And I just cannot sing any software, sing the praises of any software that actually has an automatic reporting function. So the reports that you can do, so you can do both for schematic reports and panel reports, bill of materials, missing bill of materials, components, from to, component wire list, connector plugs, and you can also create PLCs as well. So PLC, IO, address and connect descriptions, component connections, modules used so far, terminal numbers, terminal plan, connector summary, connector detail, cable summary, cable from to, and wire labels. And from this, you can either put it onto the drawing as a table as you saw, or you can export it out to Excel and then go use it downstream to wherever you want. And the great thing about these reports is it's all automatically generated. There's nothing can compute, or no human error can creep in there because you've put something in the wrong, the incorrect one. So that is a great way to be able to just sort of get everything together. Once you've done all your schematics and your panel drawings, and be able to then give it to procurement or whoever needs to go and see this to know exactly what's going on in this project. Yeah. So that's kind of a quick overview of what AutoCAD Electrical is. And for all this stuff, the reports, the title blocks, creating electrical panels and creating your electrical schematics, everything in normal AutoCAD is manual. So you'll see there that everything you'd have to do, you have to change. There's no automation in it. Because I know a lot of the guys out there using AutoCAD Electrical or you doing AutoCAD Electrical drawings in AutoCAD LT. So even there, you can't automate the table creation of a kind of semi-pseudo bill of materials with a data extraction. So, if you guys are using AutoCAD Electrical, maybe it's a great way to maybe start looking at. So if you're using AutoCAD, like you've got the full AutoCAD, and you have got the AutoCAD Electrical toolset, sorry, my apologies, then take a look at it and maybe start looking at, you can save yourself a ton of time. So in conclusion, over AutoCAD, what does AutoCAD Electrical have? It's got a comprehensive symbol libraries attached to a catalog, attached to all that tag information. It has automatic wire numbering of component tagging. Think how much time you actually spend on AutoCAD, normal AutoCAD, going, okay, this is now wire 1, wire 2, wire 3. If you put in more components because the client has asked to change the project or change the drawings, you've got to go do it all over again. Automated project reports. Okay, there, bill of materials, schematic, to, from. Real-time error checking. Sorry, this is already there. You can't do this. Automated cross-reference of parent and child components. You know exactly where all your components are, your contacts, your relays, what's normally open, what's normally closed. Smart panel layout drawings. Okay, so this nice thing that you put it on, you change the panel, it changes the schematic, you change the schematic, it changes the panel. You're creating your panel drawings. What schematics do I already have? Let's grab a list. Cool, let's drag and drop it in. And then you've got your panel layout drawings. And then automatic create PLC IO drawings for a spreadsheet. So didn't really touch on this, but if you do PLC IOs, then you've got you've got your PLC software and you've created the PLC. If you want to see it on a 2D drawing, AutoCAD Electrical, export it from your PLC software, import it into AutoCAD Electrical, and it'll create all your drawings for you from those spreadsheets with all the information that you've put in on there. And that comes to the end of our presentation. Are there any questions? Okay, so there's no questions either being asked or in the chat panel. Thank you very much for attending. And yeah, like I said, if you've got AutoCAD Electrical, then get going on it. Thanks very much and enjoy the rest of your day and weekend.